Welcome everybody to the very first episode of It's a Podcast. Today I'm joined by my one and only co-host, the one and only Andy.
Hi.
He sounds like a child, but I promise you he's something worse. This is the very first podcast from us. We've tried this in the past in many different kind of styles and ways, but we're trying to do this with a audio only version because majority of podcasts are always listened on the go. So this could be on your platforms like YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, and also if I'm figuring out how to do it also on the Apple platforms and Google Play platforms. You know, going full on crazy with this. And so for people that don't know who we are, just in case you randomly stumbled across this podcast in your favorite section between sex and gaming genres, we are a duo of entertainment. My name is Rapskilian. I'm from South Africa originally, but I've been living in Switzerland since 2001. That's the most interesting about me. I've been doing YouTube since 2008. Been streaming since 2012, and I've been the most of the time I spent on Twitch. Sorry about that. I'm slightly nervous. I'm kind of shy. I don't know why. It's the first time I've ever been this shy to create content for people. And this is my co-host, who used to be one of my biggest fans, who stalked me.
I don't know if you should be introducing me like that.
Well, it is the truth. You did stalk me and try to gain.
I'll give a clarification.
Try to gain access to my Skype calls. And can I have your Skype contact? I really want to talk to you. And ever since then, we've bonded over some very interesting conversations, and I always felt like every single two male white friends feel like it's
Whoa, why are you bringing the race into this?
Because it's like a meme at this point in time, like two white guys, friends.
I want to be explicitly clear. I do not think of myself as the typical white guy. I happen to be white, but I don't think of myself as the typical white guy.
It's like
I do come across people who are like the typical white person, but like I don't think either of us fit that category.
No, I don't think either. So I don't think so. But just if I find it funny that I was like, I want to make a podcast with Andy, and it's like every single white guy he's like a good friend, and they think, our opinion about movies or culture or games holds so much value that someone has to spend time and listen to our voices. You know, it's a funny idea. I think College Humor made a little skit about that, but we'll get it later to the topic. I want you to introduce yourself a little bit, also, Andy.
Okay, hogging the mic here.
Hell yeah, absolutely, man.
Hi, I'm Andy. I've been making content on and off, though I've had quite the hiatus. Specifically lately. By lately, I mean probably the past 5, 6, maybe 7 years. Not really made a whole bunch. So let's start from the beginning. I started making content from 2010 to 2012, I think. Mostly gaming content around about that time. And then 2013 to 2015, roughly, I was making creepypasta narration content. And then I took a bit of a hiatus from all the YouTube stuff for a couple of years. And then I was involved in this guy's live streams from 2018 or 2019? Maybe in
2018.
Yeah,
You
2018
returned.
2018 and 2019. Then I've been kind of just doing my own thing in the real world from 2020 and onward, but I do have aspirations to get back into content creation, though, again, doing something completely different, but at the same time, at some point, I would like to get back into entertainment, creative sort of stuff again, certainly be involved in Rapskilian's streams, goofing off. It's an easy job going on your streams, honestly.
It is actually. That's a really I want to touch upon that because actually, you have like the most wide, what do you call it, platter of like content out there that I've ever seen from somebody else. Like you went from like doing let's plays to speedrun commentaries.
I did not do
for a while.
No, I did.
It wasn't not speedruns, but like you commentated on people's videos or something like that, or like you did co-hosted like a charity live stream.
Yeah, I did that for a little bit. But that was quite short lived. That was I did like a couple events of that many years ago.
Yeah, like for charity and stuff. That was like the Four Forgotten Fangs, and I don't know if anyone.
No,
knows
you're getting mixed up. It may have been around that era, but it wasn't with the those guys. It was with totally different.
That's like one of the things I remember seeing you. Like you were in that like a very long ass live stream.
Yeah, but that wasn't Four Forgotten Fangs related. That was with a whole different other crowd. Though there was a couple of people that crossed over with those two groups.
Okay. Also, we're gonna try to keep the explicities to a minimalist.
What do you mean? You mean swearing or?
Yeah, swearing. We're gonna try to keep swearing off the platform so we can get verified by Spotify.
Okay.
Or
I don't
maybe we can beat up Joe Rogan.
I don't think I said any bad words.
No, I'm talking. That's more directed to myself. I'm a person that likes to swear a lot. Apparently.
Stop that.
I don't know. I don't know why. But back to you, like. So Andy went into originally his original online name was Savian.
Oh yeah, I've missed out on the names. Yeah.
Yeah, you forgot about the names. My name's always been Rapskilian. That's a lie. I was actually originally called. I'm embarrassed about this, but my first online persona name was called Tsotsi South.
Right.
And it's because I'm from South Africa, and if you don't know about, I think you must have seen the film Tsotsi, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's a really good film. I recommend it. It's about like street criminals from South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a street criminal in South Africa, they call you tsotsi. It's like slang word for criminal, for small criminal. And being the person with identity crisis about where I come from, I was like, wait, I can make myself seem so South African by calling myself Tsotsi South.
Right.
Because I'm from South Africa and I'm a little tsotsi, even though I was never a criminal. I was never really a criminal person. I never. The worst thing I'd done was steal a Red Bull from a convenience store. Like, ooh. I went back and I paid for that Red Bull, by the way.
Oh, sure you did.
For legal reasons. But so yeah, like my first online persona name was like Tsotsi South, and then I went into Upgaming Info, and now to Rapskilian. But back to what Andy, like I want to focus a little bit on Andy here, because like Andy is a really interesting person I want to introduce you guys to. So he went from like Savian to Andy, and then he did this channel called Andy Does Voiceovers. Yeah. Then he made Andy Does Voiceover.
I went from Savian, then I jumped channels to Creepypasta Savy, then I renamed that channel to Andy Does Voiceover, and then I abandoned that channel, went back to my gaming channel with content for a very short time, but never really did anything on there. But I renamed that channel to Andy Does Voiceover. It's a big mess. I don't even really like that name now. But I plan to make a new channel sometime in the summer where I'm making all this new content with a brand new username, which I'm quite proud of this new name. Might reveal that later on in the future podcast episodes.
Yeah. And I just want to quickly remind everybody that this podcast is obviously early access for Patreons over at my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Rapskilian. That's with one L, not two L's. Don't you dare bring the double L's in my house. If you can pledge from $1 to $3 to $50 or whatever, you gain access to early viewings or listenings to the podcast. And also future podcasts will be streamed live to only Patreon, so you guys can enjoy that. But keeps the house lights on and keeps everything going. Thank you guys for your support. But that's a very bad plug.
No, I think B+ for effort.
It's my first ever trying to plug a Patreon.
Mm-hmm. B+ is in be better next time.
Be better next time. Wait till you hear my Fierce PC plug. It's gonna be amazing. But so yeah, like creepypastas. That was really. I think you thrived well. Like, do you ever think you're gonna go back to that? Personally, or do you think you're done with that? Like, you're done with that creatively?
No, I don't think so entirely. Like, I had an idea a couple of years ago, and I mentioned it a few times to you on stream and maybe off stream about doing my own thing that was sort of creepypasta inspired, but it was more of a horror comedy and a bunch of other components audio production. I still want to do that idea at some point, and the idea of making like very well produced audio content like that, I would like to try to go do that again, in some capacity, because I feel like there's something there. I never peaked with my channel with that kind of content. I only made like 50 videos, and I could do a lot better with a bit more.
You made views, my friend.
Yeah, I did good for a short period of time, and especially for like the time period. Like I only went up to like 2,500 subscribers, but that was a lot of subscribers at that time, and it was also I did that in like a couple of months, so it was a very fast growing channel.
Span.
Yeah.
It's a very short span. I feel like when you started doing creepypastas, like it was starting to like die down, the whole trend. I felt like creepypastas was like this thing that just blew up, and then it fizzled out at the end, and it just became.
I don't know the exact timeline, but I would say I was definitely quite a early adopter in terms of the narrations, because a lot of people didn't really peak for some years after. I don't exactly know the time frame, because like I said, I kind of was out at 2015. There's still a lot of people doing it now. However, the problem with it, the content creation now, is it's very hustle and quantity orientated. At least,
yeah, I feel like quality is falling.
I don't know about the quality part, but like definitely you have to grind out a lot of content, and I've never been about that. That's a bit daunting on me. I would rather it's I would do like a 10-minute video, roughly speaking, a week, and that seemed like an adequate amount of time. Well, I have like other stuff going on, other focuses.
Yeah, obviously.
But the idea of putting out like an hour's worth of content out a week in terms of that kind of stuff, it seems that would be a bit challenging for like the kind of stuff I want to do it with.
Well, some of these guys are doing like full time, so it's like it's a daily grind. Like, there's one YouTube channel I found recently because I was watching like. I like listening to SCP videos because I find like the whole SCP universe super fucking interesting. Oh, damn it! Like super really interesting because it's so open with its lore, right?
Right.
And this is one channel that does animations. He animates the SCP storylines.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like super high quality animation, but it's like drawings, and he makes visual. There's some visual entertainment to it, so that's like I found like that kind of cool. Like that guy is still getting like good amount of views compared to what other channels are. I think the most successful creepypasta YouTuber out there, correct me if wrong, is Some Ordinary Gamer.
I don't think so. Like I'm not that into the loop with it all, but I don't know how active he was with it.
He was known for his like droll present. Like when he gave you a creepypasta, it was in such a non expressive way. He's like very. It was like he was reading you a phone book.
Right.
And some people like really found that entertaining. I found it like it had a weird charm to it. It's just like reading up the page. It's like, oh, that's scary. And now what he does like a bunch of like deep web videos or virus videos or Linux videos or stuff like or like talks about YouTube dramas and stuff like that. He's an entertaining person. Muda, if you ever want to be on the podcast, you're very much welcome. I have Andy. I have Royalty also here. But
he wasn't a no-name in the community, but there were definitely more popular people and people that were making a lot more substantial amount of content about.
But in a sense of people that branched out and were able to escape that whole, like shoehorn. Is that the word? Shoehorn? Is that the right word?
Maybe.
I feel like I have this issue when it comes to like words and terminologies.
Right.
I don't use the right ones, and no one has corrected me for so many years. So I sound like an idiot sometimes.
Hello, you there?
I feel like you guys just purposely let me be an idiot.
Sorry, you caught me there for a little bit.
You purposely let me be an idiot. Like I would say something like I use a term or like a terminology or something like that. You just like, yeah, whatever. It's just Rapskilian. Let him be. Let him believe that.
No, you can't like pick people apart like that all the time. So I let things slide, like you should,
Yeah.
like a normal,
You
reasonable
should.
human being.
Well, if you saw something or you heard something I said,
If a
you
kid,
didn't
if
see
a
it.
child does something wrong, right, you don't like tell them at every moment because they're a child. They're
Oh,
gonna get
you
it wrong
do.
all the
You
time.
have to make sure that kid knows every single mistake he has made for the last 10 minutes, the last 3 hours, last 5 days.
Jump forward 15 years.
He wakes up like 10 years later and he's like, "You left the milk out 10 years ago? That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Why'd you do that?" I'm trying to be nice here, but yeah, so I'm trying to find a good way to segue into what the topics I wanted to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wanted to get your opinion on this. So, like, the reason why I talked about Andy a lot is because Andy has this wide spectrum of, talents and thought patterns. Like, this is what I like about Andy. He can, when you give him something, he can go really either stonewall. He'll give you the most simple answers, which is super infuriating. And sometimes you talk to him about something, and then he gets super into it, and it's super entertaining. So I wrote down some notes, and let's see what sticks.
Sometimes simple answers should suffice.
Yeah, but when you're trying to make content,
Um,
this is so. Before we get into the topics, Andy has been, for the majority of the time, he was one of those YouTubers and online personalities that never showed his face, right?
yeah.
So he was so used to not being visually there, just audibly there, that he has some certain tics and things that he does with his face. Like when you say something, he thinks that nobody can see him. So when I talk to him privately on a webcam call, he does it to me and he thinks I don't notice it. And I'm like, you fucking asshole! I saw you pulling your face.
You never call me out. I did. Okay, so two things. You never call me out on that privately. I never noticed that. But also, I noticed you were very eager to call me out on that. That one time I decided to show my face. I think it was like a month or two ago, a month and a half ago.
Yeah. He finally
you're very
showed his
keen
face
to,
on the
like,
internet.
look, Andy made a face. That means he was thinking things.
It's just it's something that I had to be I had to deal with for such a long time, and it felt a great time to publicly shame you for it.
Right. Okay.
See, that you publicly shame a person, and that person will learn from it.
It's not gonna get far.
So the topics I want to get into is, first of all, have you heard about the UFOs being declassified?
Something like that. I haven't properly looked into it yet. I saw Russell Brand post a video about it, but I don't know. I like Russell Brand, find him interesting, agree with him a lot of stuff, but he waffles on a lot of the time. So, and
I
I don't
have
know.
to Google that now because I forgot who Russell Brand is.
He's like a brand name British comedian who's very much involved in politics and sort of activism on public platform. He's more of a YouTuber now, or I don't know.
He's a bit of a weirdo, isn't he? Though.
In what regards? I would say so to some extent. He's quite
I love it when you given the word Russell. There's let me see here. There is Russell Crowe, Russell Armstrong, Westbrook, Simmons, Wilson, Peters. There's a lot of famous Russells out there, huh?
I guess never
I
thought
call
about
myself
it.
Russell. I need to change my name to Russell.
No,
But,
you want
yeah,
a unique name if you want to, stand out with famous people.
Russell with one L. Hey.
Right.
I know how to play the game by now. But
I find him
go ahead.
appealing, but like I said, he waffles on a bit too much.
Mm.
He does a lot of he uses complex and very advanced vocabulary as well, so it's hard to. Well, I don't know. Sometimes I can understand him, but I'm still like, Jesus, you don't have to be talking at such a level like that, because you. I don't know. I just wish you spoke a bit more human.
I feel like every time I see him, I always just I maybe it's because I have like the stereotypical image of Russell Brand being an absolute just, wreck of a human being. Because that's what he like when he originally came out onto the scene. Everyone just pictured him as this. Oh, he's this outlandish British comedian that's always drunk and shouting and very loud and very expressive and doesn't have a high intelligence. That's the way that he represented himself. And
I think
the last time I really heard the name Russell Brand is when that movie Get Him to the Greek or something like that came out.
Yeah, I think I watched that like last year. Yeah.
You just watched that last year?
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it that much. It was vanilla comedy. I don't really like Russell Brand for his comedy. I don't think.
Okay.
It's mostly some of his like activism stuff and stuff he's said publicly. I would say he's quite a respectable. So, because I don't know, it's quite prevalent, this kind of thing of celebrities or famous people transitioning into the online sphere and being sort of more so YouTubers. I feel like he's adapted well to that. Like I very much look at Russell Brand as a YouTuber. Also, I do want to say that kind of stuff. I think it's a bit of a shame because I have heard that kind of viewpoint of Russell Brand of like how he was like what you were describing him as.
Yeah, well, that's just it's not that I'm personally saying that he is that. It's just that's what I remembered of.
I know, but it's such a strange thing because that was like well over a decade ago, and that time period was, I don't know how many years. I was going to say a couple of years, but I might be off with that. But it was so long ago and so much time. He's created a whole new identity. It's a bit strange.
Yeah, obviously, but the thing is, like, if you don't keep up with someone's social life or their public image, you kind of just stick with that last thing in your head. Because it's not like Russell Brand isn't I don't have a Russell Brand, shrine in my closet or something like that.
Nor do
obviously,
Nor do I.
No. I have a Ryan Reynolds shrine. There's only one spot. That's for Ryan Reynolds. That's. You know this, Andy. You know this.
I feel like you gotta watch out for the people that have more than one shrine. Like.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
like,
they're up to something.
Just imagine you get kidnapped by like your super fan. You're like, okay, I know you're kidnapping me and I'm fearing for my life, but why the F is there a shrine for Russell Brand here? And I'm in the corner of the closet and he's in the middle. Am I your second choice?
Like I'm not. He's next.
Was he not busy? Was he too busy for you? Like, I feel so dirty. I need to go shower. I'm not your first choice. I would feel slightly insulted at the same time. I'm a weird person like that. But we were talking about aliens again.
Yes, I was going to get you back to that. Bring you back to reality.
Bring it back to aliens. So apparently this is because Donald Trump in his last yonder hears said to the FBI or something, I don't know, like said, okay, you have until the 1st of June to declassify or release a report on all UFOs sightings or UAPs. Don't quote me on that because I don't know what the hell that means. Seriously, I don't know what the UAP means. I think it's like unidentified alien person. I don't know. Something about like objects. And slowly but surely the report has been coming out and it's all over TikTok. It's all over TikTok. People like, oh, we've read 230 pages of this, so you don't have to. And I was like, every time I hear that sentence, I'm like, I feel like you're going to mislead me. You're using my laziness. So you know that I'm not going to go read that document. You know as good as the sun will rise, I will not take the time to read a 250 page document. So whatever you spew out in the next 30 seconds, I'm like, yeah, okay, I believe you. So have you seen any of the news recently about that?
No, I can't imagine there is anything crazy about it, like legitimately. Like,
well, apparently there is, like,
yeah, but not actually though.
So this is a whole thing that's been building up apparently, and according to a few military people and like high officials in certain countries, the reveal of aliens to the world is gonna happen either this year or next year.
Mm-hmm.
So like I want to say last year, a high official like for like the minister of aerial defense from Israel.
Right.
We're not touching on that. We're not touching this current topic. Just want to say, staying away from that. He was on air in the interview, and he's like, "Oh, we already have full contact with alien life forms. They're living among us right now, like full on like Men in Black style, and they have a base on Mars." That is underneath the planet, and that's why we're trying to get there now, to show that we can, to show them and prove to them that we're able to reach the planet by ourselves. And Donald Trump wanted to tell everybody, oh, the aliens are real and stuff like that. But the aliens told him, please don't do that, because we don't think you guys are ready for this. Like, they don't believe humans are ready. And he said that there are two main reasons. There's like, one is coronavirus, because they don't want to have that virus going to the like outer space to other aliens. And secondly, nukes. We've used nukes on our own people. And because of that, they felt, oh, you guys, if you start using nukes after we introduce you to the intergalacticals community, maybe some other alien life form is going to be like, oh, they're using nukes. I want to use nukes on my own people. You still there, Andy?
Yeah, I'm just making a face.
see, that's what I mean. Like, he goes so quiet.
My brain cells are dying listening to you talking about that. That's just ridiculous. I don't really.
But what if it's true though?
I don't really like the idea of it entertaining that kind of stuff, because you're a stone throw away from conspiracy theories, and that's very rampant.
Hey,
and
my
quite a prevalent
tinfoil
issue.
hat is always ready to go. My tinfoil hat is always ready to go. No, but like,
I don't think there's any legitimacy in any of that stuff.
Okay, so just let's put the conspiracy theory side of, like, aliens are within contact. To say that there is no life on another planet out there, that's kind of dumb. There has to be life.
I wouldn't say it's impossible.
Like if we're talking about size, scope, and sheer amount of planets out there, it's kind of nearly impossible to say that there's no intelligent life out there. Because the universe is huge.
Yes, I'm aware.
I gave myself an existential crisis when I watched a video of a video on YouTube of some guy showing, like, going from a one person sitting down at a picnic field and like zooming out, constantly showing how smaller everything gets.
Yeah, there's no way. There's something about that. Like, there's no way we can. I can't remember the exact numbers, but there's basically no way that we can escape the Milky Way within like sort of any time frame. Even I think it's within the time frame of the existence of the universe. We couldn't even leave our galaxy. I think it's even at the speed of light. Something crazy like that.
Yeah, we need to do. There's a thing they made in Harry Potter. No, but but apparently there's like some scientists that they theorized they released a patent for like a space drive that instead of flying through space, it bends. It does a Futurama where it bends space, then flies through it. It's like, oh, smart
they've
people
not
are
done
gonna
this
solve.
yet, though.
No, it's all on paper and it's theoretically possible according to them. And I'm like, do you know what? You're smart enough. And I'm just gonna say, do it then. Just do it and make sure that I can go to an alien planet like that.
Yeah. Also, the idea with it's on paper. There's a lot of things you can put on paper. Like, I don't know, business ideas. It doesn't mean that they're manifestable. It doesn't mean they're manifestable.
Yeah, obviously, but like, there's a difference between a crazy guy writing down his plans for world domination in Starbucks, and then like some scientist that's been studying physics and knows these things, and he's like, oh yeah, this makes sense, and it is plausible.
Like, they also don't. This is very complicated stuff, and they're not being able to do a lot of stuff for like.
Yeah, okay.
many
Let's just put
decades.
it like I always every time I heard like the counter argument for people like you're saying to me right now, I always tell them like, if you went back 50 years
Mm-hmm.
and told them that what we're doing now, like literally doing right now, having a conversation and recording it and then putting on the internet or live streaming video games,
Yeah.
that person will tell you that's not possible. Look at the TV.
I think
It's small. It's got black and white colors.
I think they would say. I think a reasonable would say, "There's no way that would happen in that time frame." But I think it's a bit ridiculous to think that they would say, "No, that's impossible."
Well, we used to say it was impossible to put a man on the moon, but what do? Yeah, we put a man on the moon. Well,
Yeah.
man.
I don't think I would have thought that would be an impossibility.
No, but
at the
no.
time.
That's not fair because you have the knowledge in your head now that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a little bit of a bias to it. So if you
Okay,
were to
but
go,
like I would
like, if you
say, I think we could get to another planet like Mars. We're going to do that in a couple of decades.
I think that's plausible.
Same thing with
I
like.
think a bunch of people are gonna die on Mars, but I mean, I would.
Same
I would die
thing
on
with
Mars.
like terraforming and creating like a base in other on like asteroids and maybe even other planets elsewhere. Like I think that's all sort of feasible at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure like we're gonna get to the point where technology. There's gonna be a leap in like that kind of technology very soon. I think. Like again, I'm an idiot that sells fridges for a living. Don't quote me on any of this. But I just feel like there's gonna be there's gonna be like There's gonna be a big jump in technology, like the technology and like an evolutionary jump in it. And it's gonna be really amazing to see. I hope that I get to see it before I die.
What exactly?
People living on space, going to different planets,
There'll be people on Mars, I reckon.
and like being able to go there myself. Like
I
I
don't know
think
about
if you could choose if I could choose the place that I want to die, like I want to die on I want to die on Mars. Preferably painlessly, but this just wouldn't be there. It's like I made it. Okay, I could die. Give me an injection. See what I mean? It's like I just feel dying on Earth is so
when people talk
so
about this,
boring.
what can I take a rain check? Like ask me in like 40, 50 years, and I'll let you know. Because I don't really feel comfortable being like, oh yeah, I'll die on Earth or Mars. Definitely for sure. I don't quite feel comfortable deciding
Like
that right
you're
now.
gonna be in your deathbed and you're like, oh, by the way, Andy, we listened to that podcast you had about like 30 years ago.
No,
So we know you want to
no.
die on Mars. So get in that ship. It's just like Elon Musk
Yeah, like
2.0 drags you into the ship.
Maybe it might be very advantageous to live on Mars for whatever reason. Decades down the line. But right now, it's kind of like a bit out there of an idea.
I think like even Elon Musk are the first people that are gonna go there. They're gonna be living like hell. It's gonna be hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be hell hard to live there. It's gonna be soul crushing to live over there. But it's gonna be an experience that I think the best example of it was the movie The Martian. Like I'm in love with that movie with the character, with the dialogues, with the visual representation of Mars, and like the thing where like Matt Damon. His name is Matt Damon, right?
Yeah.
I always mix him up with the other guy. Like he's like, wherever I go, wherever I step, whatever I do, I'm the very first person to do this. And that must be such a wild feeling. Like he's the first person in that movie, obviously in real life, but he would be the first person to step on this stone to see that storm in that area ever.
Yeah.
Like having that experience must be amazing. So I'm like,
Yeah, I was like a year ago. I remember watching a documentary on Netflix about how it was to do with like archaeology discoveries in Egypt, like discovering like a whole new tomb and like pharaohs and stuff like that. Fairly popular documentary at the time, but it was really interesting because I sort of realized why these people did this, and it was because they wanted to discover history that was hidden away for thousands of years, and they wanted to be the people that saw it for the first time.
Yeah.
And have their hands touching it and stuff like that. Very interesting on that element. Like I could see people watching a documentary and becoming interested in archaeology for that reason.
Yeah. Well, obviously that must be really cool though.
Yeah, I really liked the woman that her job was about looking at the bones and telling the story, because that's her whole job. She would look at the bones and be like, oh, this is what they got up to, this is how old they were, and this is their physical ailments. And she was, I don't know, it was so interesting. She was able to humanize a person with bones. It was so fascinating.
How much of that is actual truth?
I don't know, but she really solved it and made it really interesting, and I don't know. I believe every word she told.
She's like, yeah, he liked long walks on the beach, and ate a bunch of porridge, and he died. Oh, how do you know he died? It's his bones. Yeah.
Hit you with a skull.
Yeah, he's a dead man. Oh my God, he died at a young age. How do you know? Bones, talk to me.
Well, you can learn stuff with people's remains, like specifically.
There's like a lot of
specifically teeth. There's a lot of stories that can be told with that, because you can deduce a lot of details of like what people eat, and that can tell you a bunch of information.
Yeah, how healthy they were and stuff like that.
Yeah, and where they could have been, like. Location wise and time period, like that, you can smart people can figure this stuff out.
Yeah, exactly. That's smart people. Thank you for being smart, because you make life a lot more easier. Like I'm scared about how much old comedy shows and murder shows told me about. If you murder somebody, make sure you remove all their teeth, because apparently that's how they identify people.
I watched
the dentist like, oh, excuse me, I'm the professional here. I can find out who this person is, and looks at the mouth. This is Peter.
I didn't know the full story, but I was watching the sort of fictional movie about the real life events of Ted Bundy with Zac Efron in it. Like, you know that movie that came out?
I've not watched that, but
yeah, I watched that, and I found out through that a big part of how Ted Bundy was caught was because of teeth marks.
Okay. It's weird, man. It's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. That movie was quite an interesting watch.
But anything to do with Ted Bundy and Zac Efron. Wait, did Zac Efron play Ted Bundy?
Yeah, in that movie, yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be a weird boner.
Whoa. I don't know. I found it quite interesting. His character was done in a certain way, and then it suddenly got real dark.
No, really, a Ted Bundy film gonna get dark.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know too many details, but then it told certain details about the things he did, and it's like, Jesus, this guy was really brutal to these women. I know he killed them and all that, but like, it wasn't just. I don't know. I don't want to say that some of the details, but it's like, I can't imagine like doing that kind of stuff. Like, wait, you can do that to a body? That's insane.
Yeah, there's some weird people out there, man. Like, I remember watching the like this video about. I didn't even know about it, but like apparently the Texas massacre is based off a guy that actually did the whole carving people up and taking out the skin. Well, not only one person. He actually killed only one person, but the rest of the bodies he got from the local graveyard. And he just take the people's skin and make like covers for his chair.
Right. Okay. So you don't want swearing in this podcast, but you want to go into detail of all this stuff.
It's not explicit. I'm just saying he made.
I don't know.
It was just like when I was watching.
Don't do this at home, kids.
Do not do this. Seriously.
Yeah. Not even with your pets, especially not with your pets.
No, especially not the pet. It's a pain in the ass. Like, tan the human skin and then find the right dimensions and then matching skin color to the other thing. shut up right now. But basically, like the whole thing about it, I watched it. And it was crazy. The most messed up part for me wasn't the fact that the guy. Okay, that what the guy did was totally messed up, but was the idolization of that person afterwards. There were people breaking into the house to steal stuff, to like take memorabilia from the house because they found it such a fascinating case. And then somehow the house got struck by lightning and then burned down. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, it's a sign of God." But it's just like, no, it was the local police officer was like, "No, I'm not having this guy." I'm pretty sure it's like a local police officer or like a local people like, we don't want these kind of people in our town, so we're just gonna burn this house down and everything in it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting case. I would, if anyone's over the age of 18 or has a really strong stomach, I would really recommend opening 2 tabs. One was Zac Efron, and then one with that story that I told you about. To distract yourself. If you really go crazy, Ted Bundy at Zac Efron apparently.
It's where is it? Oh god damn it! I'm trying to find this movie. There's a movie called The Tower, I think. Tower, yeah, 2016. It's a documentary movie. Really good documentary about the 1966 shooting at the Texas, like on this tower roundabout in Texas University, and it's about this guy who spent like 96 minutes on the top of this tower just shooting people down. That whole story's very interesting.
So I want to talk about turning 30 because I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off there. I just realized where this is gonna go. It's like, oh my god, this is getting dark.
No, I just want to recommend this documentary. It's very interesting for this, the kind of topic we're talking about.
Oh yeah, obviously. Sorry,
if we're talking about suggesting stuff, I would definitely recommend checking that out if that all this kind of stuff is interesting to you. Mm-hmm. People dying, you statistic. Yeah.
Yeah. Just.
So you want to talk about turning 30? You okay? Can you hear me?
Oh my god, 30 years old, man. Before we go to 30 years old, remember, everything we're talking about is not a suggestion to go do it. We're just talking about how interesting these topics are.
I don't think you have to worry about that.
You never know. Turning 30, not recommended, by the way.
What are you suggesting now?
I suggest not turning 30. Like when someone says you're turning 30 tomorrow, tell them you can go.
And how would you not turn 30?
I don't know, man. If you find out, let me know because I want to go back. So I always laughed it off. I was like, 30 years old. Everyone's like, oh, you're gonna turn 30, life changes. I'm fine. Oh my gosh, no. So yesterday, we were supposed to record this podcast yesterday. I told Andy, hey, can you... I was kind of an ass because I was like, hey, can we do the podcast? And he's like, oh, okay, when do you want to do it? Like, tonight. So I kind of dropped that on him. So he was like, oh, no.
I don't mind.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, let's do the podcast. I came home, ate dinner, and then my body just decided to go, nope. Just nope. And I had a bad case of diarrhea. If you don't know where that meme comes from, Google it. So this is not the first time this happened to me. So we figured out I might be allergic. Something's causing, I don't know if it's allergy. My body doesn't react good with spaghetti bolognese.
Mm-hmm.
Spaghetti bolognese.
Okay.
This is like the third time in the last few months this has happened, and it's always with spaghetti bolognese from Aldi.
Right.
And I've been living for 30 years. I've been eating spaghetti bolognese from various different store brands and so forth, and we're trying to single it out to what is causing this with me because it's violent. It's the only way I can explain it. And turning 30, it's only since I've been turning ever since I've been turning 30, this has been happening more and more to me. Like my body, good example is like a few days ago, I just got one of my kids out of the bath, and I wasn't carrying my kid, I wasn't holding the kid, I was just walking, and my right hip just locked up. In absolute pain. And I fell on the ground. I was like, I can't move. I can't move my right leg. And like for the next day or two, my leg just my hip bone, not the outside, not like a muscle cramp, but the joints itself was painful. Like it was like painful to move, and I was like, why? I wasn't doing any exercise. I wasn't doing any physical activity. I wasn't lifting up anything heavy. I didn't hit myself. My body is just failing at this rate. By the time I turn 40, I'm gonna be in a wheelchair.
I don't know if it'll be that drastic of a curve, but definitely that this is something that a lot of people should be thinking about, taking better care of themselves as they get older, before it's too late, where they're not like mobile and or it's not like as effective, you know, because it's better. You know, I feel like it's important to get your fitness quite well in your 20s, so that you get to enjoy your 20s physically, because that's fun. And then
Fuck
also when you get older into your 30s, 40s, and really old, you're still physically able, and it's not hard to maintain that, you know, compared to trying to get to a fitter point when you're 50 or 50 plus, you know.
I think the personal, in my head, the cutoff time for mucking about is 25. If you go after 25, you're fat or like have a big body weight, you're screwed. Going your 30s.
I would not be sending that message to people that you're just screwed if you're 25 or older and your health is not in peak condition.
Just see some guy a guy sitting down listening to the podcast. He's like, I'm gonna turn 25 in the next 20 minutes. He's like, oh no, I should put down this Ben and Jerry's, but it's so good. Like,
no, I think there's always time for you to turn back the wheel, but with each incremental year, especially when you're on the higher end curve, like I don't know, 40 plus, I would say roughly speaking, it gets more impactful with each year.
Yeah, if you're anything like me, a person that has almost no time for, exercise, nothing. Get in when you can. Before you get 25, I want you to lose all the weight you feel like you're going to be comfortable with, because I think after that, you're just like, I'm 30. Because it's a joke. Like, oh, okay, when you turn 30 years old, you got the dad bod, the belly, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, if you had this before you turn 30, it's not a joke anymore. It's reality. It's there, and it's hard to get rid of. And yet everyone's like, oh, and then you walk down the street and you see all these youngins, without their t-shirts on, and they're like, oh, I'm got a six-pack. Whoa, look at me, muscles, man. And you're like, I want that. I want that.
You gotta work for it.
And then you realize, and then you ask the person, how did you get that? It's like, I did some exercise. I went to the gym 4 times a week. You're like, what? Can't I just do like 20 minutes of push-ups and then that's it? Like, then you start doing stuff like you start buying those telemarketing things. So I never told you this. I bought one of those pads from Ronaldinho, the footballer, where you stick in your tummy and it zaps you with like electricity, and it's supposed to like, shock your ab away, your fat away. It doesn't work. All it does is just jingle your balls for like 30 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah, shocker. Yeah,
it's a little shocker. And it cost me, should I say the price? Because I feel like if I say the price, I feel like I'm going to make myself feel dumb. I think it was right about $300.
Okay. Return policy?
I bought it in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And I sit back and I think to myself, I could have bought so many things for the stream. For like a new microphone with that, but no, I was like, this is gonna be the thing that's gonna make me lose weight. And I think that's what many people do the mistakes. Like they go.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, go ahead, because you're probably the most expert on this. Like the person that lost them.
I lifted weights this morning. Just want to say that. Just put that out there.
Okay. I have 2 pairs of sets of weight in my office, and I only take them out for memes on stream. That's about it. So yeah, like there's another thing I really want to talk about, like turning 30 years old. There's this little evolution I've experienced in. And I was very curious because I think you're under 32, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
So you're not 30 yet. So you've come from a different generation than I have, and now I want to see how this compares to my experience. So there's been this this evolution when it comes to my main platform of entertainment, the place that I currently always consume most of my entertainment, like where I spend most of my time on. For me, it started with, I think if I remember correctly, it was 9gag. Don't shame me if you know that. It went from 9gag, it went to Facebook, and then Facebook to YouTube. And I was on YouTube for a very long time. I used to consume a lot of videos there, watch a lot of videos there. And then it went to Reddit. And then from Reddit, it went to Twitch. And Twitch, it went back to YouTube. And then I ended up on TikTok. Now, all these platforms before, except for 9gag and Reddit not so much, but like the majority of the content was always long format consumption. Like I watched one video that's maybe 20-30 minutes and I'm like, oh, I'm really entertained by this. Now I spend an insanely a lot amount of my time on TikTok. And I know a lot of people in my community don't like TikTok. There's a lot of hate for it, but I think there's a lot of hidden gems on it. I found really good content on there, really fun things. The problem with this thing is now, I'm so used to watching 30 seconds or 60 seconds of videos and then jumping to the next entertainment and next and next and next, like constant flow of entertainment. Then when I go over to YouTube, I can't watch a longer video. I feel like my attention span has shrunk. And
yes,
like if a video
this is what I've been saying. Like it's cognitively, TikTok is not good for your brain. It really isn't.
And this has bled into other elements of mine too. So I think TikTok and games have something also similar. Games like Apex Legends, Warzone, and Valorant have this same effect on me. Because they're short form, quick entertainment. They snap you, like especially like games like Warzone. It's like quick match, die, get back in, going back, go back up. Like you're so quickly getting to the next match. And you're like, it's keeping your attention. So I've been streaming less. I stream only 3 days a week now: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, from 8:30 p.m. to 12 p.m. UK Standard Time. So a quick plug over there. So I have a lot more free time to rest up and finish projects like this podcast now. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna play a game. I'm gonna play a single player game I always wanted to play for a very long time. I want to play it now. I chose Prey. I loaded up the game, and after 5 minutes, I had my phone in my hand and I was checking TikTok. I can't play single player games anymore because they don't hold my attention anymore. If a game doesn't instantly grab my attention, I can't play it. Has this happened to you?
No, because I don't use TikTok, and I have been very much against it. Like, you sent me, a video earlier today, which I thought was very inappropriate because I'm very anti-TikTok, and I don't want to corrupt my mind. And that's very much how I see this. I don't think TikTok is an appropriate platform to, I don't know, enjoy content, or especially to educate yourself. It's really bad because it trains you to be very short attention span with it. I would even say it teaches you how to not really think critically because this content is so short. You're watching something and then you just quickly assume, yeah, that's right, and then you move on to the next thing when you don't really have time to look into it into a great depth of detail compared to other content online.
Have you spent time on TikTok before?
I don't think it would be a good thing.
Well, the thing is, that's why I originally came to TikTok because I thought, oh, it was a great place to promote my Twitch channel because it is. That's what everyone was saying. So I went there, and the beginning, my For You page, and if you've never been on TikTok, For You page is basically your front page, and it is one of the most scariest things I've ever experienced because after 1 week, that thing is so fine-tuned to your tastes and what you like. It's so weird. Like, I go on there, it's games, TikTok, anime, girls with bigger boobs, and, like, Star Wars, and it's everything I like. Everything that I personally would agree with, I find, like, entertaining. It holds me. And I found literally very, very intelligent people on there that have spoken on a plethora of social topics in a short format, and then always link out, if you want to hear more about this, go check out my YouTube. And I went to the YouTube, and these people talk about social situations or historical events or many different things in such a smart way. I was like, holy crap. You would never expect that from a dancing app.
So I would say it's probably best that you get that content from the original source where it's unedited and it's in long format.
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
and properly, appropriately laid out.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, it's a good way to grab your attention with something, with a topic, and then the person generally says, "Oh, I have a YouTube channel. If you want to get the long format," and you go there and you're like, "Oh wow, this person's like well informed." I'm like, wow, this is really good. This is good. Like, I learned so much about, like, Venus? No, Jupiter, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Its core is fluffy.
Right.
Because apparently it was smashed into another planet before it became a gas planet. A gas giant, so. I did not know that. It's really interesting. I was like, wow. I don't understand any of this, but it sounds really cool. But, like, I feel like TikTok has had a negative effect on me. Yeah, I agree. Like, when it comes to, like, consumption of like, content. And also games like Warzone. So, what I've been doing in the last few days is, sounds very weird, but I've been forcing myself to play, like, long games.
Mm.
Like, I'm forcing myself to play Red Dead Redemption 2. It feels like I enjoy myself, but I know I have to get over that stepping stone, that blockade, to break free.
Yeah.
I want to be free.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I'm quoting right there, right?
What are you quoting?
You don't know who I was quoting there?
No.
Well, I want to be free.
I don't know that.
I want to. Oh my God, Freddie Mercury.
Okay. I'm not much of a fan of Freddie Mercury. I'm not too consumed
Queen.
for that. Yeah, I know who Freddie Mercury
and
is.
Again,
I
make myself feel so
roughly speaking,
old.
he's in Queen.
Talk about old. I made myself feel so old on the stream because I was like, oh, this reminds me of, like, Ray William Johnson. And I was like, who?
Oh, God.
Equals 3? What? Oh, God. My heart. I'm so old.
Yeah, that'll probably get a lot worse because there's so much YouTube history and culture that's just will be totally lost to time. Like, I don't know, there was a whole era there, and yeah, I don't know. It'll be strange to think that there will be stuff now that people don't know about 10 years from now. Like, there will be a whole new generation that are like, who's relevant right now, and probably might not be relevant in 10 years. I don't know.
Me?
Don't want to say a particular name, but, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, obviously,
that could be really strange to think about. Like, I don't know how long PewDiePie is going to be doing his thing, but, like, there might be a time where he's like, see ya, and then 10 years after that, people are going to be like, who's PewDiePie?
Right. Really, it's going to be weird. But I think most content creators know there's a date on their head with, like, I'm out. Like, I don't picture Tim the Tap Man playing Call of Duty in his 60s. Do you know who Tim the Tap Man is?
Yeah, I do. It'll be interesting to see what a lot of these people transition into. I hope a lot of these people are making good financial decisions. Because
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Historically, in the past, like I don't know, like I said, YouTube's been about for a while, and some people's era has ended after 5-10 years, and I know of YouTubers online who have not made good decisions, and it's led them down a very dark path, or they've just not, they don't have any money now from the earnings that they made. But there are some people that are, doing proper businesses and are prospering incredibly.
They should have bought Dogecoin.
No, that's not exactly what I'm talking about. There's all sorts of other things you can get into.
Diamond hands
about
to the moon.
A little bit about what we were saying earlier. Like I do think there's a difference between, like, with the algorithm and stuff like that with TikTok. I think there's a difference between what they, because their algorithms built in a way where they're trying to recommend you things that they think that you want, and there's a difference between that and what you think you need. So there's like a quadrant diagram.
Yeah, but
it's
thinking
there about
thing
what
is,
you, there's you, and then there's them, what you think is best, and then there's your wants and your needs. So there's 4 quadrants there.
Yeah, but if I compare it to other social platforms that are supposed to be curating the content to my liking, like YouTube misses
what I'm saying
the
is
ball.
they shouldn't, like what I'm saying is they shouldn't be upheld for being a proponent of being basically an addict machine.
Of course not.
And then
but
that's
like,
what a lot of these platforms are made.
I was saying, like, I was just amazed by it. Like, if you click on YouTube one how it's made video, you are screwed for life, because every single recommendation will be like, do you want to watch another how to make video? Do you want to watch another
what you're saying is you equivalently, what you're saying is you like how pure TikTok's cocaine is.
Yeah, it is
compared to other social media.
Pure heroin level of addiction.
Yeah, you shouldn't be upholding that. That's not a good thing.
But it's like, for me, it's like, oh, I'm entertained. Like, if I'm on the shitter and YouTube's like, do you want to watch like another video of how a pencil is made? I'm like, no, YouTube, I watched that video 10 years ago. I don't need to see that again. But I go to TikTok, and TikTok's like, here's an anime girl, and here's a super cool obscure fact about Star Wars, and then I have big and then this one guy makes videos about like the human origins, and it's like super informative. You're like, whoa, this has been one entertaining and informative shit. You know what I mean? It's weird.
I just want to let everybody know that I'm glad that they're listening to a podcast, and I think they should listen to more podcast content. Maybe this, if we turn it into a weekly series.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in general, consume your life with long-form content. It doesn't even have to be podcasts. I listen to plenty of long-form content that's like very well made, but it's not in TikTok form.
I think
it's good for you.
I think TikTok is experimenting with long format videos now. So like some creators are able to upload 3-minute videos. So many people are trying to do that, but they're trying to make it more of a special thing. And then you can see YouTube is also trying to do with YouTube Shorts, but YouTube falls flat with their algorithm, with the recommendation stuff. Like, no one can copy what TikTok does. They can't get to that. TikTok is Heisenberg. Like,
it really worries me. I think it's damaging young people.
It is
especially
absolutely.
when you have this content where people can just put up really short stuff giving young people advice, and this has happened. I've seen it. Like it's came my way where people have been like, "This is on TikTok," and a lot of young people are watching it, and it is very horrible advice to be giving to young people. They should not be. I hope there's no young people taking on. Probably is young people getting horrible advice from these platforms and content creators.
So then why don't you make a TikTok account and then give
That's
them the
not the answer.
That is the answer.
That is not the answer.
That is the answer. You cannot be like, okay, if there's a room full of people that are sick and lost.
The answer is not
Andy,
for me to make my own cocaine.
Andy, wait. If you're a doctor and the patients are in the hospital and you're standing in the car park saying, "Why are you in the hospital? I'm here." And there was like, "We're sick and need of help inside the hospital." And you're like, "No, because I find it's really bad to go into that place because I can get sick. Like,
the thing is,
go to the hospital.
TikTok is not a hospital. It's a drug den. And I am going quite strong on this drug metaphor because it is a mental
dopamine. It's just pure dopamine. Yes. It's pure dopamine. Like, I get entertained from it. I have enjoyment. But you know what? I'm a 30-year-old man that has issues with his asshole. It's just like, and back and body pain and shoulder pain. And you know what? If I want to enjoy something for 30 seconds, because I don't have a lot of time. Like, I used to have a lot of time to sit down and watch a 30-minute.
You definitely have a lot of time.
I don't have a lot of time.
That's the other thing. TikTok is a profound time suck. Social media in general.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the stuff you get up to online is a huge time suck. A lot of people say that they don't have time to read a book. They do. The truth is they're spending, well over 10 plus hours a week on social media.
Well, I would love to say that that's what's my situation, but I don't have that I really don't have that time to read a book. Like, that's why I was able to do the book thing. Not because I was spending too much time on other platforms. I just didn't have.
Why don't you read a book when you're on the toilet?
Because I did that last time and I got into trouble with my wife.
Okay.
I got told off for reading a book on the toilet because she's like, if you start reading books on the toilet, you're going to be there even longer. It's like, okay. So no. And then when I sat down at front of my TV to watch, like, everyone's watching TV, I was like, I'm going to read the book here. And then both my kids were like, what is that? What is that thing in your hand? And why is it not in my hand? I want to have that. Give it to me, Dad. I'm like, no, I'm trying to read this book. And then it's gone. I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I've given up. So,
right.
And I thought about like listening to audio podcasts, audio books about it. I was like, nah, that's not the same. You don't feel as well informed and educated if you read a book. So, we're gonna have to cut this off now because we reached the 1 hour mark. That's generally when podcasts go to an end, and I think we've ended this on a high note. We've gone through a little bit of adventure together here, and if you enjoyed this so much, then please do stick around.
Are you gonna put this on TikTok?
Well, I could do that. I could put the highlights on TikTok.
Oh God, don't.
I'm
not okay with that either.
I'm gonna cut your voice into different parts so it sounds like you say TikTok is the best thing ever. And you will never know about that because you're in the car park and everyone's here in the hospital shooting up heroin.
Right.
But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the podcast, go check us over on our socials, which you can find in the description below. I stream every Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 8:30 p.m. to midnight BTS. That's British Standard Time. I also have a YouTube channel, which is same as my name, Rapskilian. So it's youtube.com/Rapskilian. Follow me on my Twitter account, which is twitter.com/Rapskilian. Andy, do you have any socials you want to plug?
Not really. They'll just be in the description. I will have a YouTube channel that I'll be actively posting on in like a month, late June probably. And we'll be talking about that sort of content when the time's more appropriate.
Absolutely.
But right now, this is as much as you get.
Yeah. And obviously, if you really enjoyed us and you want to support us and we'll get early access and behind the scenes from these podcasts and future projects which are coming up, go check out my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Rapskilian if you want to support us over there. And if you're looking for a gaming PC and you're living in the UK or Europe, you can go check out my sponsor called fiercepc.co.uk. If you use my code RAP5SE, you get to save yourself 5% off by your purchase. So that's RAP5 RAP5SE. You get yourself 5% off your purchase at checkout. This is a limited time code anyway, so please go check it out. And thank you for listening. Love is with a bit of pie. And I'll catch you guys and girls next time. Andy, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
I feel like I force you to say bye every time.
I know you do. I feel like, there's a gun pressed up against my head. And not like in a nice way. Come on now, like really digging into my temple, You're trying to fire the gun itself into my head, never mind the bullet.
Okay, anyway, bye-bye guys.